Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and well, we're back on with the old Ti-994a, and a little bit quicker than I was actually planning on doing or expecting to doing, but I had nothing else on this evening, so I thought, why not, let's have a play. And reason behind this, I put that video up yesterday of actually getting this thing and trying to get it to actually display something, and as soon as I posted it up, someone actually replied in the comments pointing out that the PAL, UK PAL version of the Ti-99 doesn't actually natively output composite. It actually these output component video, which is quite unusual. It's quite interesting actually. This display I've got here does actually support component video as well. It has got the YUV inputs on the back of it, but I don't have the cable, and I don't have any spare 6-pin DINs to make a cable up at the moment. Not of the correct type for this anyway. So I thought, I wonder is there any way via the modulator to actually get it to output a composite signal. And I had a little look online and a look on YouTube, and indeed, yeah, it's quite easy actually. I'm not the first person to do this by any means, but there isn't a lot of information on it on the internet. But what I thought we'd do is we'd just have a go at doing a quick cheap and dirty composite and audio hack on the modulator here. And I still think there's actually something wrong with the computer, but at least we'll have a solid composite output then that we can progress further on with when I've got a little bit more time and we've got the proper workshop back up and running. With that in mind, we're going to be doing this with absolute basic of basic tools. So we might as well get started anyway. So we'll get the old Ti-99 out of the way. We've got the modulator here. I mean, yeah, I could take the DIN plug off there, wire 4 phonos, some flying leads on it to 4 phonos, and just get the component out. But for a lot of things, I mean, I've got a couple of monitors that have components on them, and something I'm working on at the moment which will take a number of different video signals into it and output to VGA. That'll hopefully work with components as well, but that's something I'm working on at the moment in the making. For now, it would just be handy to have this thing output in composite, because I've got 4 more monitors which will accept composite. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's get in this thing first. Alright, let's get a screwdriver. Oh, well, that's the first interesting thing. It's actually a flat blade. God awful things, slotted screws, really, compared with Phillips. Only other computing stuff I've ever seen that uses slotted screws is stuff that was made in the former Soviet Union. Right, let's get you zoomed in a bit so you can have a look at this thing, because we're in. And what we've got a fairly standard Aztec modulator there, and then obviously the circuitry we need to decode the component video. We'll have to figure out where various things are in this, because this isn't actually identical to the one that I saw on the YouTube video. I can't remember the guy's YouTube name off the top of my head. I believe the guy is based in South Africa, but I will put a link in my description to his video, because like I said, his modulator is a little bit different to this. And there is another version of these modulators actually, which are in a plastic case, which don't use the Aztec modulator unit. They do it all with their own discrete components on board, and that's a completely different mod. I mean, you can do the same thing, but that's a completely different mod. I think that was done by is it the Andalusian Gamer? I'll put a link in my video down to his video as well, because that covers both bases then. And like I said, my version again seems to be different again. It's more like the chap in South Africa's though, being in the metal case and what have you, and actually using a Aztec modulator. But like I said, this is again slightly different. I'm hoping I can do it exactly the same way he did, which is, yeah, looking at it actually it shouldn't be too bad. This the modulator looks to be very similar to his, so you'll have a ground connection, a 5-volt connection, or a 12-volt connection, it's one or the other, audio and video straight into the modulator like that. So what we should be able to do is hijack the ground, hijack the video and the audio. We'll probably actually disconnect them from the modulator, so we're taking the modulator out of circuit. I mean, it's pretty much redundant nowadays anyway. And we will fit some phono jacks on here, and we'll feed them outputs straight out to the phono jacks on the back, and that should allow us to get separate audio and composite video out of it. Because basically all this circuitry here does, like I was saying before, is it takes the component video and it converts it to a composite signal, and that composite signal is then just basically fed to the modulator. So all we're doing is we're hijacking that signal and feeding it straight out, because we don't need the modulator anymore. It's quite simple really. Also, slightly annoying is this is actually soldered into the case. 1, 2, 3, quite substantial solder points there, and with the iron that I've got down here at the moment, like I said, all my main stuff is buried in the attic, and unfortunately I think it will be for at least another couple of weeks. We're going to try doing this with how you would do it back in the day if you was doing a modification, and you know, you didn't have all the electronics equipment which is quite readily available to us now. So what I've got to do this with, believe it or not, is a 1960s soldering iron. It's about 15 or 20 watts. I think I may have shown one of these on there. I've got a few of these. I bought them. I got them in a lot actually a long time ago. Quite a few of them, about 4 or 5. But yeah. Let me zoom it out so you can perhaps see this thing a bit better. Oops, a bit better. That's what we've got. That's what we're going to use. So it's got quite a nice fine tip on it. It is suitable for this kind of work. It's not a great big iron. It has a little clip on it. Bakelite handle. And original 3-pin 13 amp Bakelite plug. It does work. So we'll get that plugged in and warming up anyway. In fact, I'm going to need something to stand that on, or else I'm going to end up burning my desk. I've got this little box. I think we can use that as a stand for the iron. I'm not too precious about that box. It only has my USB sticks in it. Alright, let's plug that in. There we go. That can be heating up. Try and make sure we don't knock it off and cause disasters. Right, now let's crack in. I'll zoom you back down a little bit. Oops, wrong way. There we go. We'll have a look inside the modulator. There we go. You can see inside here now. So we've got I'm pretty sure that that connection there is the ground connection, being that it's actually connected to the sorry, to the case of the modulator. In fact, what we need is we need a multi-tester, don't we? So we're going to have to do some continuity checks here. So just bear with me a second, I'll be right back. I'm just going to have to go and see if I can find a multimeter somewhere. This is going to be a bit fun. Be right back. Okay, we're back, and I finally got a multimeter. I had to go out to my car and dig in the toolbox I keep in my car, and I got the one out of there, and then the battery was flat in it. So I had to hunt round for a 9-volt battery. And then when I tried to change the battery connector snapped off inside the multimeter, so I had to repair that. And then when I repaired that, one of the leads snapped off the multimeter, so I had to repair that. So going and getting the multimeter took me about 40 bloody minutes. But we now have the world's cheapest, crappiest multimeter, but it does work, and it has got a pair of leads. And as I was doing that, it suddenly dawned on me, why don't I just look up the data sheet for the modulator, and that'll tell me exactly what the pins out are. So that's what I've done. After all that, I've got my phone here, so let me just log into my phone. And I've pulled up the data sheet for this Aztec modulator, and it tells us basically we've got pin 1, pin 2, pin 3 and pin 4. And if we look down here, pin 1 is video input, pin 2 is plus 5 volts, pin 3 is audio input, and pin 4 is fine tune. So we don't need to worry about the fine tune. All we really need to worry about is the first one, which is the video input, and the third one, which is the audio input. So what I am going to do, ideally what I would like to do is take the entire board out, desolder them wires and solder into them, but I'm not actually going to do that. What I'm going to try, it's a dirty method of doing it, of course, but what I'm going to try, I'm just going to try actually soldering onto them. I've got some screen cable here. I don't think it'd even matter. It wouldn't even need to be screen cable, because we're keeping inside the shielded box anyway. In fact, I've got some non-screen. This will be easier to work with. I've got a bit of wire here, and I've got some phono connectors. So I'm going to drill the side of the case there and install 2 phono connectors like that. And then I'm going to actually solder the grounds to the case, because the case is ground on this. That'll make wiring it up a lot easier. And then I'll just I'll tap off them connections there and run some wires over to them connections, and we'll see whether that's going to do us. Hopefully it will. That's exactly what the guy, the South African guy, like I say, I can't remember the name of his YouTube channel, but it did look quite good actually. I will go and peruse some more of his videos. That's basically what he did. Like I said, I don't think it was identical to this, but it was quite similar. Right, where's my drill gone? I better mark the... I'm going to have to do this with it all in here as well, unfortunately, like I said, because we'll just mark two places to drill at. I'll disassemble these phono connectors, get them ready. There we go. And we have got, where has it gone now? Oh, there it is. I've got the old Makita, and I've got a step bit in it. So we'll go nice and gently. I'm just going to, oops, I'll have to do this off the table, I'm afraid. Let's see if I can get you down on it. There we go. Because if I'm not careful, I'm going to take a chunk out of my desk. That's the first bit I think we need to go. How many steps in do we need for this? One, I think. Just one more step in, I think. There we go. We'll just trial fit that. think if I screw it in actually, I want to go just a little bit bigger on the hole. I do want to go just a little bit bigger, that's a little bit tight. I think if we just let's try that. Yeah, I think we'll be able to get that in like that. Lovely. And oh, get a little bit of crap off there, and we need to drill the next hole. That should do us. Unfortunately, we haven't got any swarf inside. It's all ended up outside the box, which is good. We've not got anything that's risking shorting any of them chips out. No, we're nice and clean in that. Okay, it is more preferable, obviously, if you take it out, but that's going to fit nicely. Right. We'll have the video on that side. We'll have the audio on that side, like that. Now we need to put the if I can pick the damn things up, we need to put these little back pieces on. This is what the earth connects to, the ground connects to, and I think we're going to solder them straight to the chassis, because that is ground in this. It just makes life a little bit easier. Put that on there. Put a screw on. Not the screw, the nut. I'm going to zoom you out a little bit so you can see more what I'm doing. I'll move the drill as well because we've finished with that. There we go. So we're just tightening them. There we are. I need to move that earth thing round. So I'm going to plan to solder them both together, which is what I've done in the past when I've done something similar. Come on, out you come. It will be nice when I can get back in the workshop, it really will. I hate doing things like this with basic tools, but at least it shows you can work on this stuff with very little equipment. You don't need all the scopes and the hot air rework and whatever to do basic things like make your own cables up, do basic little AV mods and stuff like this. You can get away with very basic equipment. Come on, stop being awkward. The other one went on nice and easy, this one's being trickier. I'm going to just ream that hole out a little bit more, whether that'll make it a bit easier. We'll just try that. Where's that gone now? Ah, there it is. Oops. Put them there. I'm just going to ream that hole out a tiny bit more. I don't think that was helping. Make sure that's nice and tight while we can get in. There we go. Let's try that again. That goes in a bit easier now. Let's see if it'll. Let's see if we can do it up. Put the nut back on the other end. Unfortunately, I can't get this nut to work. I'm a bit stuffed because these are the only two I've got of these. I don't know where. Well, I know where all my other ones are, and like I say, I can't get to them at the moment. So why is that not going in there? It certainly came off there. How on earth can that not fit on there when it fit? Good job I haven't soldered these in yet, isn't it? Does that fit on there? How weird is that? That screws on that one. They must be very slightly different. How strange is that? Yeah, because that, well, one of them came with a crush washer and one didn't. Never mind. Well, that definitely fits on that one, so we'll use that one on that one. We'll put this back together. Let's carry on. I'm guaranteed you're going to come across when you're doing this, especially when you buy these cheap parts. I mean, these are cheap, made in China phono connectors, but they're perfectly acceptable for this kind of work. They are plated ones, at least. There we go, that's in. Hopefully we can put the video one in again. That's not too bad. Can't say that's the best lined up holes. You're really better doing it properly and marking everything, but for what I'm doing with this, it's absolutely fine. Right. Okay, let's get them ground tags moved around so they're crossing one another. Like that. So you can, I don't know if you can make that out. I'm sorry it's a little bit dark in here as well. It is really the brightest I can get it in the workshop, well, in the office. Right, so basically all I've done is I've just crossed over the two earth tags there. I've got them as tight as I can get them. I've got some, see if I can get them a bit tighter with these. To go underneath that one now. Pull that back up a bit. There we go. That's better. Right, we've got that nice and tight there now, so what we want to do is solder. Basically solder. Oh, that one's come loose now. So you tighten one up and the other one comes bloody loose. Let's tighten this up. There we go, that's better. I'm literally just using the screwdriver to push the edge of the thing round. You can sometimes get away with it, because I don't know where my other pliers are. So what we're going to do now is just solder them to earth points in the middle. So I'll tip it up, I'll get it balanced in a nice position to do this. That should do. And get some of the solder and the soldering iron. So this is an ancient 1960s soldering iron. It's only about 15 or 20 watts, around that kind of power, but it's absolutely adequate for doing this. It would be better if you had something slightly hot. Actually, no, that's perfect. There we go, we've got that to sweat down. A little bit more solder, don't want to go overboard. There we are, oops. Put that there. Right, so yeah, we've soldered the ground points to the chassis, that's fine, they're nice and tight now. So we can take a bit of this wire. Get it roughly to the right length. So we're going to go off that connection there and come along and go to there. So that should be plenty long enough. Cut that off. And we'll cut another one. In fact, if we do it about the same length, it'll be absolutely fine for the audio. There we go. Apologies there, my camera decided to do something daft again. That's the second time it's done that in as many days. Right, we need to just tin these wires up. Yeah, let me get that. I can use that just to weight this wire down while I tin it. Stop it moving about. That's that end tinned. That's that end tinned. That's the first one done. Might as well tin up the other one and then they're ready. Tin that one up. Tin that one up. There we go. Oops, perhaps a touch more on there. There we go, that one's alright. We'll tin the connectors as well. And we will also just nip down here and we'll put a little bit on the wires we're going to solder to. So a little bit on there. Like that, and a little bit on there like that. Right, excellent. And now we'll start with the audio one, I think. We'll solder that onto pin 3 down here where I've tinned it. Make sure we've got a nice good bond there, and we have. bring that over. Oh no, we didn't get a very good one there. Felt like we did. Let's try that again. There we go, that's better. Yeah, well that's definitely a good one. We can lift the modulator up with it. And we set that onto the audio wire jack there. Solder that on. There we go. Lay that wire down. And then we'll do the same with the video. So we'll go in here like that. We will solder that on. Yeah, we've got a good connection there. Make sure. Yeah, we can lift the modulator up with it. And we'll solder that to the video connector. There we go, that's soldered on. Now we can unplug this soldering iron because we've finished with that. And I'll put it somewhere out of the way where it can cool down and not burn the house down. Well, we finish this off. Right, now the next thing we're going to do, because like I said, we're not really interested in the modulator actually working. And actually being in there and being powered up, it could be causing a little bit of noise, and basically we're happier if it's disabled, so that's what we're going to do next. Basically I'm going to cut the 5 volts like that and just move it away. So that's the actual modulator no longer powered up. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut inside the modulator the audio and the video. The reason I'm doing that is that somewhere in this modulator they're going to combine to create the modulated RF signal. So there's going to be something, probably an inductor resistor between them two, which is, it's not good for the composite and the video signal we're getting out, because obviously we're going to get a bit of audio on the video, etc. So the best thing we can do is just isolate them inside again. I mean, this is reversible. If we wanted, we could take that modulator out, we could replace these wires and it'd be back to be able to output an RF signal, but like I said, we don't really need that. So we'll move that out of the way so it can't, it doesn't matter if it shorts against anything else inside the modulator, providing that's clear there. And just for completeness, because there might be paths to ground and stuff, we'll do the same thing on the there we go, that's free. So basically that's the modulator completely isolated. So we've got component coming in. The component then, using this circuitry, gets converted to composite, which then goes to the modulator and gets outputted as RF. All we've done is we've hijacked the audio and the composite signal from the modulator and we're feeding them straight out of the box there, which should give us a nice composite output on the screen. Or not. Like I said, I still think there is actually something wrong with the Ti-99 computer itself, but at least doing this mod, we now don't have to mess about trying to get the thing to tune in or anything like that. We can literally plug this in now straight using the composite input on my monitor there, my TV. Let's see if we can get this to go. Ah, there we go. That go back together. Screw that back together like that. I'll get you a bit zoomed out and we'll get the old, oops, wrong way. I'll bring you up a bit. We'll get the bench, the table quickly tidied off. I've got to put the pot back on the flaming modulator. Not that it's needed, but I'd rather leave it in there. If nothing else, at least it shows what the model of the modulator is. Okay. That's the modulator modifications done. So, ow! Let's finish clearing all this stuff off the table. Let's get the jolly old Ti-99 back in. Get that plugged in there. At least if all we get is again a plain white screen, at least it'll prove that the modulator modifications worked. I'll stick that behind there because I haven't got very long phonos down here, and I've had to make one of them. Our power supply. We've got the power supply for it. You can get that plugged in, and I have already changed that for a 3 amp fuse in the plug. Okay. Hey! Those are heavy when they drop on your toe. Ow! Right. Power. So let's plug that in. That's power over there. This is all being that I have actually connected it all. Oh yeah. Well, the power lit up on there then, so that's good. At least means when I reassembled it last night after the last video, I did at least put it back together right. Right, let's get some power for the screen. So we've got power for the computer. Let's plug the screen in. That's not good. We're not having a good day. I don't believe this. This is... I don't believe this. I really am having a very, very, very bad day. Have you seen what's just happened? I've just gone to plug the power supply for the monitor in, and the bloody earth pin's broken on the IEC. It's just pushed straight into the power supply. I'll be back in a second. Okay, replacement, but slightly manky, but at least working power supply connected up. Let's plug the IEC into this one. What's that? That's the printer. We can unplug the printer, plug the IEC in, and the monitor doesn't power up. We've got power on there. Just bear with me a minute, folks. I'll be back as soon as I've got this sorted. Okay, we're back, and finally we have the monitor working. Ah! Right, so all we need to do is... Oh, I've still got my 2600 connected to that. Let's disconnect that. Finally what we need to do is we need to hook some audio and video from the modulator up to the TV. So we'll call the white one video, which I think is that one there. There's no one lower down, is there? There's that headphone jack. That's a headphone jack. Yeah. That's that one, and then we should have 1, 2 more above it. Yeah. Right, so we'll call that video, we'll plug that in to video. We've got a crappy lead that I had to make for audio, so we'll plug that in. It should at least work just enough. And plug that into audio, see if we get audio out of it. There we go. Right. That should be a thing on AV1. No, it should be on AV2, I think, the external. Right, so moment of truth. Are we going to get anything this time out of the Ti-99? Let's see. Power on, and... I don't seem to be getting anything. Nope. That's not good. connect these the right way around, didn't I? Just in case I'm being daft. Nope. Are we getting any light signs of life at all? No. Oops. Like I said, we can, as you can see, we can actually output component direct. So this will take a direct component input. But no, that's not worked. That's rather disappointing, isn't it? I was hoping that we'd at least get some activity doing that. Let's just try quick. I really can't understand why that hasn't worked. Unless all I was seeing out of the RF was something being produced by that modulator, and the computer really is very, very dead. Looks like I'm getting nothing out of that at all, and I should be at least getting something. I hope at least if I press the load of keys end up getting a beeping noise or something. Which I'm getting absolutely nothing again. Not that I really know that, like I said, not that I know that much about the old Ti-99. This is a bit of a first foray into this computer. But yeah, that's not looking good for us, is it? I think I'll probably keep on. I wonder if I could dig my old scope out. I think I've got my old oscilloscope in the cellar. I could possibly, it does still work. I could possibly get access to easier than digging through in the attic. That's a possibility. Sorry about that, folks. I'm really having some camera issues as well. I knew this wasn't a good day for a video. I think I'm going to have to invest in some new SD cards. I think they're just getting too old and corrupted. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, unfortunately, we've not had a success this time. We will be doing some more work with this thing. So I hope you at least enjoyed that. Seeing me hack away at that modulator. So like I say, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.